Welcome guys to round 3 of the 6-race series of the GTO classed Ford Mustang Cobra Trans Am. We're at the Circuit of America's national track. We had intense practice done for this track, yet nobody really felt comfortable at all. This is such a tricky car, such a tricky track. Unfortunately, I only managed to record the second race, which was an absolute pity, as there was just so much action in that first race and a little bit of controversy that happened. Yet after all, everyone is still friends, we're all racing together. Sit back, enjoy the highlights of the second race, let me know what you think. So in the one lap flyer, Jakes in car number 8 puts himself on pole. Great recovery after having finished the first race in 8th position. Second on the grid is Andrew in car number 78 for the Green Mambas. He finished third in the first race after a little tangle with Bruno, which unfortunately cost him that win. Third on the grid goes to Ross, our Scottish international, in car number 27. He finished the first race in 5th and has a great spot here in 3rd. Fourth on the grid goes to car number 9, Bruno, teammate to Jakes for Ghost Racing. He finished 2nd in the first race, puts himself 4th, ready to go. 98 Marius, who he finished the first race with a win, his first win for the season. Great result there for Marius. Car number 23 Yaku finished the first race in 4th place. He qualifies and puts himself in 6th and joins up with Jason for the rebirth of Tarmac Monkeys. Dylan in car number 79 puts himself 7th on the grid for qualifying, and after his 7th position after some contact with Jason on the first corner, he's definitely looking for a better result. The team captain of the Tarmac Monkeys in car number 24, Jason, he finishes the first race in 10th position and qualifies here in 10th. Captain of the Turtle Racing, he qualifies in 9th place, driven in car number 11, and he finished 12th in the first race. Ash in car number 46, he qualifies 10th for this race after a great result in the first race, finishing 6th, was able to keep Dylan in tow for that race. Johan, the second driver for Turtle Racing, he finishes the first race in 10th position, driving car number 10, and qualifies 11th. Roy in car number 33 finishes the first race in 13th position and improves in qualifying and starts on the grid in 12th. Gumid, the second of the CPT boys, in car number 45 finishes the first race in 11th, but unfortunately only gets a 13th on the grid in qualifying. Green lights and off they go. Bruno has had a fantastic start off the line, and Jakes is moving across to defend that line. Little contact there between Jakes and Andrew. Ross is moving on the inside as they approach turn number 1. Marius, little lock up by Dylan as they go into turn number 1. Dylan allows Bruno to go around the outside, but everyone seems to be clear through there other than a little bit of contact between the two Tarmac Monkey drivers. So Jakes leads the field as he goes through turn number 6, through the little slip, through the chicanes. Very tricky there is that the race director is extremely strict. One wheel off the track and you definitely get that slow down penalty. Through turn 12 Jakes goes into turn number 13, followed by Ross, Andrew, Marius and Bruno. On board the roof of Bruno's car as they take us through turn 13 into turn 14. Hard on the brakes, try not to lock up as they turn into 15. Back on the power, want to get wide here so you can set yourself up into 16. Don't apex onto 17, and you want to tighten up here, get right up against on turn number 18. Then all the way back to the right hand side, light on the brakes, tighten up onto turn 19, trying not to get too much of the wheels on there just to reduce the wheel spin. Oh, a little lock up there by Ross, but he seemed to have got away with that. Andrew wasn't close enough to take advantage, and as they cross the line to begin their second lap within this 25-minute race. Morris have a look on the inside here with Andrew, but unfortunately Andrew sees him coming and just tightens up that line. Unfortunately blocks Morris out for that move. Morris will have to set him up at another point. We go on board with Roy here as he takes us for a journey through turn number 3 into 4. Oh, a little bit wide on the brakes there. Into 5. Through 6 he goes, runs a bit wide there, sets himself up to a little chicane. Back on the power. And then sets him up for turn number 12. Very hard on the brakes. Oh, unfortunately he does lose the rear end there. Further up the field we have Andrew chasing down Ross as they go into turn number 19. Approaching turn 20, Andrew has a look on the inside, but unfortunately Ross sees him coming, closes that door up on him, and off they head up to begin their third lap. Ross moving very defensive as we see Marius and Bruno in shot there. Hard on the brakes, early on the power, and down they go into turn number 2. Bruno having a little look on Marius there on the inside, but unfortunately Marius closes that door on Bruno and retains that place. So in shot our race leader Jakes, who's currently on lap number 3. The positions are Jakes, Ross, Andrew, Marius, Bruno, Dylan, Roy, Hamid, Jason, Ash, Yaku, Jacques and Johan. Here we chase Marius on lap number 4 as he's trying to apply that pressure onto Andrew as they go through turn 5, setting themselves up for 6 through the little slipway. This very tricky chicane section. Great shot of the exhaust as Marius changed down there to select possibly the second gear to come out of there to get as much drive as he can on this little back straightaway. Round turn number 12 into what is 13 and 14, but he's essentially is one turning in point. You like to turn it in once, let it hold there, and it sticks all the way through that corner. Very difficult turn number 15 as it tightens up when you again going wider into 16, then tightening up as you come through 17 and 18 and preparing yourself for 19. Oh, Morris has gone a bit wide there. Yaku chasing Ash as they head into the final corner. Ash has carried too much speed, he's gone wide, allowing Yaku to get right up behind him. Will Yaku set himself up for the overtake into turn number 1? Ash holds his line on the inside there, forcing Yaku to go out on the outside. Yet late on the brakes, Yaku takes the wider line to try the undercut, and unfortunately he spins and he goes off. The shot of the two turtle racing guys going around turn number 1. Jacques just doing some track altering maneuvers there as we see Dupi, he moves himself ahead of Yaku. Dupi moving himself up into 8th position. Yaku's currently in 9th and Jacques is in 10th. As they go into turn number 16 through the little slip, little chicane section. Very tight corner here. Looks like Dupi's had to move out to the left hand side, perhaps to get a penalty, allowing Yaku to go around the outside. Yaku's now set himself up for this inside line as they go into turn number 13. Yaku's on the inside. Whoa! Dupi backs off a bit there. Yaku had the power on a little bit too early, lost control there. Dupi's now gone on the inside into turn number 15. Will he hold his line? Yes, he does. Yaku backs out a little bit there, but now he has got the inside line going into 16. Bit of contact there. Dupi's run extremely wide, but come back and big accident. Oh my goodness, now Roy has gone into Jacques. Absolute disaster. Here we get perspective from what Roy saw. We see the two cars of Yaku and Johan flying through the air. There must have been contact between Yaku and Jacques, because all of a sudden Jacques turns around and Roy T-bones him directly. We're coming to the end of lap number 5, chasing our leader Jakes as he goes into turn number 15. Unfortunately, he spun it around, trying to get back on the track as quickly as possible as we see our new leader Ross, our Scottish international, now leads the field as they go through turn number 18. Through turn 19 they go, preparing for turn number 20. Jakes is back on the power. Unfortunately, the rear's gone again. He spun himself completely 180 degrees. So in the matter of 4 corners, Jakes has gone from the race leader and dropped down to 5th. So at this point, we now chase our new lap leader at the beginning of lap number 6. First place Ross, second place Andrew, third is Marius, fourth is Bruno, fifth is Jakes, sixth is Dylan, seventh is Ash, eighth is Johan, ninth Jason, 10th Roy, 11 Yaku, 12 Jacques, and 13 is Hamid. The beginning of lap number 7, Ross still leads, Marius second, Andrew third, Bruno fourth. Into turn 1 they go. Andrew's run a bit wide, allowing Bruno to get right up to him as they go into turn number 2, into 3, right into 4, left into 5, through 6 they go, through the little chicanes. Oh, a little bit of a unstable rear there for Andrew as he came out of that left-hander, but he goes left to go very defensive. Oh, seems to be a little bit of lag there. But up to turn number 13. Bruno applying a lot of pressure on Andrew here. You can still see Ross in first, Morris second, Andrew in third. The positions here for first, second, third and fourth are still extremely close. Unfortunately, Andrew made the vital mistake, went into the pits, thought there was a mandatory pit, and that cost him a whole lot of positions. So the leaders, Morris having a little look on the inside on first place Ross. Into turn number 13 they go. Looks like Ross has carried a little bit too much speed, allowing Morris to get the much tighter line on the inside there through 14. Ross rejoins the track, but looks like ahead, probably a little bit of lag going on there. Didn't really know what was happening. Nevertheless, things have settled down. Into 16 they go, then into 17. The gap now down to 0.02 of a second as they approach turn number 19. Morris has got a great drive coming out of there. Will he be able to get that slipstream, get a toe up the hill and make that inside dive into turn number 1? Little lock up there by Ross. Has it allowed him to go too wide? Morris is looking good on the outside there. Ross tightens up his line as he goes through turn number 2. A little bit late on the brakes there by Ross. Morris still applying that pressure onto Ross. There's the mistake that Morris has been waiting for. Ross has unfortunately got too much of that curb, unstabilized the rear, and that's spun him around, moving Morris into first place and allowing Bruno to come through into second. We catch up with Jakes as he goes through turn number 1 on lap number 11. Why don't you set himself up for turn number 2? Great shot of those flames. He's hit to the inside curb, unsettled the rear, put himself in the wall, and there we see a shot of Dylan moving himself up into 4th place. Unlucky, Jakes. Has not been a great event for you. Here we catch up with our race leader Marius to have a look at the positions on lap number 12. First place is Marius, second place Bruno, third place Ross, fourth place Dylan, Jakes is in 5th, Andrew's in 6th, Ash 7th, Johan 8th, Jason 9th, Yaku's in 10th, Roy 11th, Jacques in 12th, and Hamid, unfortunately, the disconnection. On lap number 12, Jakes has been bringing that fight back to Dylan, as he now goes through turn number 6. Jakes really has been drawing Dylan back in, taking those couple of hundredths of a second every sector. Oh, a little bit unstable through that section there, as Jakes prepares into turn number 12 on the brake. Oh no, he's lost the rear, spun it around. We can see in the background there Andrew from the Mumbers Racing. He's now got right up behind Jakes and will most definitely put that pressure on him in the next couple of laps. Now we chase Andrew, who's really caught all the way up to Jakes thanks to that little mistake as he was going into turn number 12. Through 16, 17 and 18 he goes. Hard on the brakes into 19, but try not to lock that up so you still have that grip going through that left-hander. Around turn number 20 and back up the main straight. A shot of Jason from the tarmac monkey. He's been very quiet this race. Seems to have a little bit of damage on the rear here. Oh no, that most definitely was a commentator's curse. Do apologize there, Jason. Coming through the end of lap number 15, through turn number 19 they go. Jakes loses the rear, and unfortunately Andrew collects him coming through that corner, but due to a notice from the race director, Andrew's told that he has to give that place back to Jakes, which is a little unfair considering Jakes lost that corner all on his own. So the battle is on for 5th place. Jakes in 5th, Andrew in 6th, and Johan in 7th as they head down the main straight to begin their 16th lap. Into turn 1, Andrew has a little look on the inside, but he's still too far to make a move on Jakes. Oh, but unfortunately Andrew loses it, allows Johan to go through and take that place. Oh, Ash is unsighted as Andrew rejoins the track, pushing Ash back into the wall. Very, very unfortunate. We see Ash in the background there having to do a complete 360 to get back onto the track there. Very unfortunate there. Unlucky Andrew, unlucky Ash. Snap back to our race leader going into the final corner. Morris has had a great race, started this race in 5th position, having taken back-to-back wins here in round number 3. Morris will cross the line to win with Bruno 2nd, Ross in 3rd, Dylan in 4th, Jakes in 5th, Johan in 6th, Andrew a very, very unfortunate 7th, Ash will cross the line in 8th, Jason 9th, Yaku 10, Roy 11, Jacques in 12, and Gamid in 13 with that disconnection. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this round 3. We'll be back in 2 weeks time when we'll be at Laguna Seca in the rain. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe. See you later, yos.